Yo, 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 welcome to the Pitch Report. I'm Mario.
And I'm Amilcar.
They say distance makes the heart grow fonder. Amilcar, do you miss me? And for our listeners, it's the first time Amilcar and I do not record in person next to each other. We're actually about 120 miles apart.
Yeah, actually, funny enough, we have recorded apart, but just for our previous iteration. Some people may not know us from the Two Mics One World Cup, but we did actually most of those. I feel like we did through like online, and we had a handful that were in person. But yeah, this new iteration, every single one's been in person. So bear with us if there's any like learning curves here on how the technology works.
Yes, indeed. Well, that aside, talking about distance, in Europe, we had the Champions League round of 16, round one. It's behind us. What did you think, Amilcar?
Honestly, there was some pretty good games, kind of like what we thought was going to happen. There was some duds, for lack of better words, pretty slow games. There was some games that I really expected there to be a lot more goals, that there was none, like a lot of 0-1s, a lot of 1-1s, which I wasn't expecting. And then there's obviously the big one that stood out, which I guess we can start with, which is the PSV Arsenal game,
Yeah.
which that game was over probably about maybe 15 minutes in. It was 2-3-0. I was watching the Real Madrid game, and there was a score update that came up. I want to say like every 10 to 15 minutes. It was like 1-0, 2-0, 3-0. I was like, okay, well, this game's pretty much over. Time to pack your bags, I think.
Yeah, I don't think we're offending anyone if we say that Arsenal's through to the next round, right?
No, not at all. At this point, they're probably just trying to book their hotels in Madrid. And I also don't think, and they would be offended by saying, they're probably starting their backups for this next round, or the second leg, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, from historically speaking, the biggest comeback that we've seen in Champions League is 4-0 down, and that was Barcelona back in 2017, known as La Remontada against PSG. But yeah, I don't see 6-0 or 6-0 down is, yeah, I don't think that's happening.
No, and also there wasn't like any real signs that was going to happen. And the crazy part is like Arsenal doesn't play with a striker because like Saka's injured, like all their strikers are injured, so they're playing with like a false nine, having Merino playing, and they're still just scoring so many goals. So I'm like, I don't know if that says something positive about Arsenal or something negative about PSV, but I guess we'll find out the next round. Really.
Yeah, there's pretty funny memes about them playing without a striker and still getting 7.
My gosh, yeah, that's a brutal loss. And at this point, like it's just like, my gosh, like where do you go from there? Yeah, next round will probably just be cruise control. Another one that was kind of like maybe not what we expected, but like I'm talking about like the Bayern Munich, Bayer Leverkusen. It was not a crazy exciting game to watch, more defensive for sure, but then it ended up being 3-0. What do you think about that one? Do you think that ties like maybe done? Like, do you feel like 3 is enough to say like, all right, we're good? I know you mentioned that the 4-0 was the biggest one, but that's super rare.
Yeah, oh, that's a tough one. Oof. Okay, so what was a little, I guess, upsetting, I would think, for Leverkusen fans, they were still in the game. After basically 70th minute on is when they really just kind of killed any realistic chance. Like, they give away a really dumb penalty that, I don't know, at that point, I feel like, no, sorry, 71st minute is when the goalie has the mistake, so it gives away a goal. And after that, the game's, like, not the same. Then they give away a penalty. And I don't know, I feel like they should have maybe tried to be a little more conservative at that point and just try to like limit damage that they had. We're going back home for the next game. A 2-0, it's easier. I think it can definitely be done. Like, so I think they just put themselves in a tough situation. Um so yeah, they could have maybe pulled or taken a note out of Atletico's book, or yeah.
Do you think it's over, or do you think there's a chance for them to come back? And you said it's at home, so that's probably their best bet, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's definitely a chance. It's gonna be tough, but yeah, the chance is there. Um, but
I
I
think
will
that's one
say
of the
my
games. Sorry, I was gonna say I think that's one of the games where like you have to score within like the first like 10 minutes. If you score within the first 10 minutes, it's just like it's a different ball game.
yeah, yeah, right, or go into the half 1-0. I'm not thinking it's going to be settled. If Leverkusen can go through, they're gonna have to do it in overtime. I don't see them doing it in regular time.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah, 4-0, it's a brutal one, especially against Bayern. It's not like they're playing an inferior matchup or anything.
Yeah, it was nice to see my twin Harry Kane have a good game, and my
Wait, have we
twin
talked to
because
people about why? Oh, okay, there you go.
I mentioned it in our World Cup coverage, but we were born on the exact same day of the same year, so I just have, I guess, an affinity for him just for that reason. Um, and we've won the same amount of trophies, which professional soccer trophies. I I did win my rec league a few years back. But I'm hoping that changes for Harry Kane. I genuinely hope that, and it looks like it the way they played against Leverkusen, who's really like their toughest competition in Bundesliga. And who knows, maybe they could even add a Champions League to that one.
Yeah, I mean, and the way they're playing the league, I think they're up by a significant amount, so they should be pretty solid in that. It'll be what his first time ever winning a league.
A trophy.
Yeah, I guess trophy
Yeah, and
league,
just
anything
of
really
any
for that
kind.
matter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of trophies that you're not going to win, and it's going to be predicting a sleeper because we can talk about that game, the Aston Villa Club Bruges, which Bruges was your sleeper pick to win or to at least move forward a couple of rounds. And what are your thoughts for those of you that don't know? They lost 3-1 against Aston Villa.
Okay, so this one is another one where I actually don't feel like I was that far off. The score did not really represent the game. So Aston Villa gets an early goal, 4th minute. But then Club Brugge responded really quickly. 13th minute, they get their own goal. They tie it 1-1. And then it's basically a pretty tightly contested match, I would say. After the 82nd minute is when it kind of gets away from them. They gave up their own goal. Then they gave a really dumb penalty. The defender's foot almost got stuck and got caught with the forward. So I really feel like this game had the script to stay 1-1, even 2-1, and then they can try to pull it off in with Aston Villa visiting. But it's going to be really tough. But yeah, I just don't think that the score represented the game. But yes,
Yeah, I think
I
that's
still thought Club Brugge was going to win.
right, and yeah, they definitely have an uphill battle. Yeah, I agree with you. I think that the score line doesn't necessarily reflect how the game went, but to me, honestly, Aston Villa has been a different beast since they got Rashford and us and I was thinking Asensio. Yeah, it is Asensio actually. Rashford and Asensio, like they're both playing like lights out for them. So I think just having them on the attacking third is huge. It's a huge difference to what they had probably even a couple of months ago. So I'm really excited to see them. And sadly, I think your prediction is probably not going to live on for very much longer.
Oh, I don't think so either. Most likely
Man, you're
not, I
walking
would say.
back already. You're giving up already, Mario. Come on, you got to fight the fight.
If they're playing at home the next game, I would think they have a chance. I will say between Bayern and Leverkusen, between definitely Arsenal and PSV, I would say that this game, Club Brugge has a bigger chance of actually going through. Like of the teams that lost, and I'm
I mean,
keeping
they did
from
lose by the least amount, so figures as
yes,
much.
the teams that lost by more than one goal is what I'm saying.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Speaking of teams that lost by more than one goal, we can talk about one of the duds really quickly, which I didn't think was super exciting match, was the Feyenoord Inter Milan match. What were your thoughts on that one? I thought it was just pretty defensive and just not super exciting to watch.
I agree, but that's kind of how both of them had played so far. Yeah, I didn't see anything that really excited me. Like, obviously, you could Inter's talent showed, and I think they went through just on that alone. But yeah, Feyenoord didn't really do anything too exciting. They didn't. They were like playing. They were doing like they were taking shots, centering the ball, but nothing that ever seemed to actually threaten to be a goal. So there wasn't much to write home about on that one. I would agree with you.
Yeah, and I guess a couple of the games that wasn't a lot to write home about if you looked at like the fixture score, and the reason being was the freaking goalie play by some of these goalies this week, man. Like we're talking about Allison and Szczesny. Like they played literally lights out. Like I know Allison, I think he had there was like 20 something shots on goal, and they ended up he blocked every single one of them. They ended up winning 1-0 against who is it against PSG, and PSG
Yeah.
completely dominated that game and was robbed. I say robbed just because of like not because of refereeing or anything. Like they got the goal fair and square, but they were robbed in terms of like when you watch that game, I just could not believe that PSG did not win that game 2-3-1 or something like that. So goalkeeping was insane this weekend or this week. Sorry.
Yeah. Performance of a lifetime, I would say. That was incredible. I don't know how do you say it in French. Incredible. I don't know if that's the actual word.
For those of you that didn't
But
see it, he did like the Italian hands too. So that was the worst part. It was
oh
like the
my,
Italian hands and trying to do an accent in French.
thank you, Amilcar, keeping me humble.
Hey,
No,
someone's got to bring you down to earth.
PSG had 27 shots, 10 of them on target. 3 of them at least were clear goals with any other keeper. Even with Allison, there would have been clear goals if he wasn't playing at the level he played. It was incredible. And honestly, props to PSG. They played so well. They dominated the game. They had over 71% possession. We saw, I think the highest San Diego FC got to when we saw the game last weekend was uh, around 70 or close to, but they were playing
Mm-hmm.
St. Louis City SC. Like they weren't playing Liverpool. Like, and obviously, I'm also not saying PSG is similar to San Diego FC. They're obviously very, very different teams, but they made Liverpool look vulnerable. They just completely dominated the game. And credit to Liverpool, they had one shot on target and they just were able to finish it.
Yeah, and it was
I also,
the
yeah,
sub too that came in, right? Mo Salah sub. But I guess a question for you is like when you dominate a game like PSG did, you end up losing it. Like, how do you go into the next match? They're playing at Anfield, which is a notoriously difficult like place to play. Like, what do you do? Do you do the same thing again and just hope that like luck's more on your side? Hope Allison's off his game. Like, how do you go into this next game?
in this case, I would do the same thing. And maybe it's uncreative of me, but it just worked so well. They dominated that game so much. I think they were unlucky, really, in like this game. So yeah, I think if they can recreate the game that they had, I think they're gonna go through. So yeah, I wouldn't change anything about that. I will credit Liverpool. They played as a team. Like they did things well. Like there was an offside goal that was like overturned from PSG, and PSG was offside by like an elbow, maybe. It was like a
It was his
fraction, like a
heel. It was
centimeter.
like one heel.
Oh, okay, yeah. It was like nothing. But props to Liverpool. They came back. They kept the line, so they did that pretty well. Allison got the saves, and even the goal that they scored on the counter, it was a pass from Allison. Everyone was involved in the play. So Darwin Nunez beat Marquinhos for the ball. So it was like a well executed play. So they just held their ground.
Yeah, got one on the counter. I feel like that's what you do. You just don't expect Liverpool to play so defensive. You know, they usually play with the
Yeah.
ball, and for PSG to have the ball the entire time was just very unique and kind of hard to see. And that's where like I don't know, people say like football's not fair sometimes, you know. And that's like one of those games where you're just like, wow, like I can't believe that PSG did not come out with a win on that one.
Yeah. This is probably like one of the clearest examples I've seen of an unfair football game or soccer game.
Yeah, I guess another one that I guess is like kind of similar, but maybe not to the extent of how one sided was the Barcelona Benfica game. I mean that one also same thing. Like Chesney, I'm probably not pronouncing that right. Played a crazy game, and they were
Yes.
down to 10 men from the 22nd minute, right?
Yes. Oh, this game had me sweating. Okay, we we get a red card, and I'm okay. First of all, right from the beginning, Benfica, I think first minute has a great chance, and Chesney makes an amazing save, and even they set the pace right away. And then once we got a red card, I was like, oh my gosh, this is what I get. I felt like in previous episodes, I kept talking about like, oh, give me Benfica, or we're gonna beat Benfica. I was like, oh, this is what I get. They're gonna like Benfica's gonna win and knock out Barcelona. But to Barcelona's credit, they stayed in the game with 10 players and got the goal.
No, it was exactly essentially a repeat of Ronald Araujo last year against PSG, where he did the exact same thing, was trying to prevent a goal, got a straight red, and they ended up losing. So it was a lot of deja vu that I was getting from that one. But I mean, yeah, like you said, they stuck with it. They ended up getting the win on a. I mean, the goal by Rafinha was a great goal as well.
Yeah,
But
very
this one I'm
great
actually
goal.
really excited about too for the home leg at the Camp Nou, just because it was very. This one was a little bit more even. Definitely Benfica was attacking a lot, but I think part of that is because Barcelona had 10 men, so it'll be interesting to watch this next week when it's 11v11, kind of how the matchup is there. But also, I guess on the flip side of that, like you said, they almost scored a goal in the like it was like I think like 20 seconds in.
Yeah,
So
right away.
mhm.
Yeah, this is by no chance going to be an easy game. And if you told me like what are the odds, even with the 1-0 goal, I would say it's a 50-50.
Yeah, for sure. I also want to point out how Mario keeps saying "we" when he says Barcelona, but I don't know. He's a Manchester United fan, maybe. I don't know. Mario. Seems a little sketch there.
Different leagues, I like different teams. Oh, okay, let's sidestep for a little bit of Milcar. Like I'm sure in each, even though you are a Real Madrid fan and that's your number one team, in other leagues there must be teams that you, I don't know, have like a little soft spot for. You like a little bit more than others if you had to root for one, right?
Yeah, I think probably so. Maybe SDFC. No, I'm kidding.
Of
Obviously.
course. Okay, England though. What team would you say you root for,
See, an English
or
team? I don't
or you
know.
like?
Like, yeah, I think the funny part is I'd probably say out of all the English teams, I think probably Arsenal is probably who I'd like the most. I just like their
The
coach.
underdog?
Yeah, exactly. Maybe that's why I was a little biased when I called them the underdogs. Then for Serie A, I really love FC Como. They're brand new. They just got brought up, but like their coach Cesc Fabregas. Like I think what I do is I lean towards like the Spanish connection. So there's like Spanish players or a
Yeah.
coach, something like that. That's where I'll usually lean. Who do you go for in the Italian side?
So that's a funny one. Well, on the Cuomo one, I love the stadium. You sent me a picture a few months ago about the stadium right next to the lake. It looks really
Mm-hmm.
cool. That's on my bucket list of stadiums to visit. But in Italy, kind of like you, I tend to go for the like Mexican connection, um, and then if not the American connection. But there's not nearly as many Mexican players in Europe as there are Spanish players in Europe. Um, but in Italy, I would say Inter because a few years ago, like probably like 15-ish years ago, my parents went to Italy and they got me a Milan jersey, like Inter Milan, and I just thought it was so cool. The blue and the black looks really cool. But right now, I'm all Santi Jimenez, so AC Milan, baby.
Oh, dang! Wow, you're jumping that. Don't let like diehard Milan fans hear that about
That's
you.
the thing. That's like I like Inter Milan, and then once Santi leaves, I'm gonna continue supporting Inter Milan probably. But more than anything, it's like the Mexican connection. The teams that I do like a lot is Manchester United, and then in Spain it's Barcelona.
That's fair. I do also remember you wearing the OG Pirelli Inter Milan jersey like back in the
That's the
day.
one.
So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. Oh, the OG
yeah.
jersey, man.
That's the one. All right, let me give you two
Yeah.
more countries and just rapid fire like
All right.
uh teams you like. Netherlands.
Um, Probably you go Ajax just because like that's the only team I really know.
Okay.
Honestly.
And then any in South America?
South America. Hey, you know what? I got one for you. I'll go Cruz Azul because my boy Mr. Leo, Mr. Leo
Okay.
is a big Cruz Azul fan, so I'll jump on that bandwagon.
Hey, Santi's from Cruz Azul. Yeah, we need to get Leo on the show. Uh,
Yeah.
Cruz Azul has a very nice jersey too. I must say, I like the tone of the blue. It's really cool.
Hmm. What about you? What's your Mexican team, Mario?
Chivas.
Oh,
It's
hey, at
gotta be
least you didn't say
Chivas.
America.
Yeah.
From what I hear, that's just like the
Yeah.
the team you can't be a fan of.
No, definitely not America, but not Chivas.
There you go. Well, speaking, I guess we can go back just real quick back to the Champions League before we get too off track.
Yeah.
But speaking of favorite teams, obviously, there's one game we haven't talked about, Mario. Probably the best game. Maybe
Which
because
one?
I'm biased.
Which one?
Maybe not. But the Real Madrid Atletico Madrid, the Madrid Derby, it's exactly what we thought it was going to be. It was chippy right from the start, fighting back and forth, everybody. Pretty defensive. It was definitely a back and forth game. Julian Alvarez had one of like he's plays for Atletico Madrid, but I had to say like that was one of the nicest goals that I have seen in like the Champions League. Just cutting it in, super amazing goal. Real Madrid ended up winning 2-1. Thankfully, it literally should have been 3-1, but Mbappe just like choked the last second with a center to Vinicius. So 2-1 going to Wanda. It's still anybody's game. If it was 3-1, I would be more comfortable, but not comfortable at all. What were your thoughts on the game, Mario?
I gotta say, that was such a good game. First of all, Rodrigo, what is that man's 40-yard dash or sprint? He is so fast. When you see the play of the first goal, it looks like he's the only person that they like fast forward and like in the play. I was like surprised, amazed at how fast he was. And then Julian Alvarez a little bit later in the game, arguably an even better goal. Hits a far post. I don't know. It was just amazing. Like all the goals were so good. Diaz, amazing footwork. Between I think 4 or 5, depending on the angle, like Atleti defenders, really, really good game in general. And I agree with you. It's anyone's game. And what Atleti did, which was lose the game, is what Leverkusen could have done. Maybe even Feyenoord should have done. Looked at this as a two game matchup and plan for the next game and like just let's not lose by too much. I agree with you. I think it's anyone's game. Going back to Wanda, like yeah, I think they can take a 1-0, 2-1 and take it into overtime.
Yeah, it's funny because when you were mentioning that about Bayern Munich, this is exactly the game that I thought of because probably in the 80th minute on, they just like took a very defensive stance and they were just like you said, like okay, we're happy with 2-1. Let's just keep it here. Let's go home. And I think also Real Madrid was happy with the 2-1. So it's like both teams were
Yeah.
happy. They were just like let's just play possession football, pass the ball around, and let's go to the next leg. So it's gonna be super competitive. I'm very excited, but also very stressed out because it's not comfortable enough for me. But like you said, Rodrigo, it's Mr. Champions League, man. He might not score in La Liga for like 6-7 weeks, and then all of a sudden Champions League, he just turns it on, man.
I have a question for you. So Real Madrid lost over the weekend to Betis, and they kind of like just got trashed for losing that game,
Mhm.
like by the media. Do you think losing that game helped them for this game?
Honestly, I don't know. The thing is, like, they've had so many injuries and suspensions. Like Bellingham's not
That's
playing.
true.
Valverde, which had I don't know if you saw the assist, but the assist that he had, he played probably one of the best games that I've seen him play, and
Yeah.
which is saying a lot because he's just like an amazing talent. But he also wasn't playing, so he like took a shot, took some pills, and played this game because he knew that he needed to be there for this match. So I don't know. I think it's definitely a shot in the foot to like wake up, or I guess a shot in the arm to wake up a little bit. But I think Real Madrid just knows to turn it on. I don't know how they do it, but they just like
That's true.
when the Champions League,
Especially the
they
Champions
say,
League, yeah.
yeah, they say when the anthem plays, it's like it's a different team. It's like you can just never count them
Yeah.
out. It's so weird to say because it just keeps happening over and over and over again.
Yeah, no matter what happens, it's like they have like a cheat code to the game. Like they just cannot lose in the Champions League.
Yeah, I know exactly. No, but that's going to be a really good match, and I think that we're going to just have a lot of really good games. So so we can continue on our spell of rapid fire predictions and see where you're going to go wrong this time, Mario. Because I think I was right every single one except for the tie, and I guess Real Madrid. I said it was going to be a tie as well. But all right, Club Brugge, Aston Villa. Who do you think's moving forward?
I'm gonna stick with what I said. Club Brugge.
Wow, good for you, Mario. I'm
Wait,
proud
and
of you.
on the note of predictions, I was still wrong, but Leo and Borussia Dortmund, I was not far off from being right on that one. So I took a gamble, and it almost paid off. But okay, so what about you? Who do you have? Club
I
Brugge
have
or
Aston
Aston
Villa.
Villa? Okay,
Aston Villa going through. Yep. What about Dortmund against Lille?
I got Leo.
No, okay. I'll take Dortmund on that one.
Yeah,
Honestly.
I like Lille at home. I'll take it.
Yeah, that's fair. What about Bayern against Leverkusen?
Bayern, it's gotta be.
Yeah, I think that one's kind of sealed, like we talked about. I'm with you on that with Bayern. Inter Feyenoord.
It's Inter.
Yep, I'm right there with you. Oh, juicy one. Real Madrid against Atletico. Be careful what you say. I'm kidding.
With the safety of 120 miles between us, I will say Atleti. I think this could be the year that Atleti can get a Champions League.
Maybe, man. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm going to stay with my heart. I think, and my head also says Real Madrid because you can't pick against them in the Champions League, or maybe you can, but you'll just be wrong. Um, what about Arsenal? I don't even think we need to talk about this one. Arsenal,
Yeah,
PSV. I think we
skip,
can both
yes.
agree. Yeah, we can skip on that one. Okay, Liverpool, PSG
Oof.
at Anfield.
Oh man, I'm going to go with PSG.
I agree. I think just 1-0, even though they're playing at Anfield, I think PSG just played such a freaking good game
Yeah,
that I think that if they do anything, even 50% of what they did last game, they'll win it. I don't think that Allison can do exactly what he did again.
yeah.
And last but not least, what do you think, Barcelona, Benfica?
All respect to Benfica, but Barcelona.
Okay, so I'm a toss up on this one because of like how well Benfica played.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go take the contrary to you. I'm gonna go Benfica on this
I
one.
wonder why.
Yeah, I will
Retaliation,
say
huh?
I think it'll be 1-1. I think it'll be 1-0 and it'll go to extra time. That's what I'm thinking. It'll be an extra time is what it'll get decided. By the way, we are keeping track of all these, so we will tally them at the end, and we'll see who wins. I mean, it'll be pretty obvious, but we'll see who has the most accuracy.
So we'll recap the games next week once the round 2 has passed, and we know who's going to play in the quarterfinals. But before we close off the episode, let's talk about San Diego FC. They're playing Real Salt Lake and Salt Lake City this Saturday at 6:30 p.m. Any thoughts?
The initial thought that I have is like I wonder if these players have been in San Diego enough to where they're like comfortable with like the 70-degree weather. Maybe not right now because it's raining, but like I don't know when the Chargers were in San Diego and they went to play in a cold climate, it just never went as well because people are used to it, kind of like Florida. So I wonder if San Diego players are used to it and they're like going to go to Kansas City, or I know there's a lot of like Dutch players and like players that play in like Eastern Europe if they're still used to the cold. So I'm very curious how that's going to play out.
Yeah, I think a lot of like Northern European players are going to be fine. And Chucky comes from Netherlands, which is pretty rainy, windy weather. I think they'll be fine. I mean, Chucky's not playing, so I guess that's a good segue to Chucky being out. It sounds like it, quote unquote, not serious, so that's a good sign. I don't think they've released a timetable for his return, but at least it looks like it won't be like the 6 to 8 weeks that you and I were talking about last episode that it could be for these type of injuries.
Yeah, disclaimer: we're not doctors, so we have no medical information. We should get our correspondent. I'm telling you, we could have been more accurate.
Yeah.
We got to level up a little bit. But yeah, no, I think that the coach said that it was that he's going to miss this week. Not super serious. So I think he's like on a week by week thing. I will say the fact that he got injured on Saturday and the first we heard about it was today is mind boggling. That like they don't have press conferences like maybe a day or two after there's imaging. Like they waited until Thursday to tell us what's going on with Chucky.
Hey, doctors are hard to get a hold of.
Yeah, apparently, man. But yeah, no, I'm excited. It's going to be the third game. Hopefully we'll kind of play the same possession based football that we've been playing, and hopefully come out with a win, man.
Yeah, I mean, Mickey Vera said our overall style of play, nothing changes. And this is in relation to Chucky Lozano being out. So I agree. I hope that continues. Do you have any predictions for the scoreline?
I think it's going to be like a 1-0 SDFC.
Ooh, so CJ keeps the clean sheet for 3 games so far.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I like that, but I'm going to say a 2-1 SDFC.
There you go. I mean, you heard it here first. This is exactly what's going to happen. Maybe another prediction that Mario's wrong on. I don't know. Maybe he'll have a bad track record. But the funny part is there's like 2 viewing parties, right? I think you're saying like at the Gas Lamp somewhere.
Yeah, Gasan District at El Chingon and the Fields, which Amilcar and I used to go to the Fields for trivia. I think we were like 17. We weren't even 21, but they'd let us in.
And we used to run the field. Just kidding. We never won.
No, we actually got third place once. Third place and on you would place and get an award, but it was only during the World Cup when they had World Cup trivia. We came in third.
Hey, that was just foreshadowing what our future podcast. We knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, and I think that was like 2010, I want to say. So yeah, it's been some time. But we'll be back next week after the San Diego FC game to recap our game against Real Salt Lake, and then we'll touch on any new updates that happened between the Champions League round of 16, round 2. Till then, I'm Mario.
And I'm Amilcar.
See you next time.